We are live, looks like. Hello, everyone. Uh, Friends, please confirm if you can hear both of us okay. Hemanan, hello, Hemanan, how are you?
Hey, Devan, I'm good. Hi, everyone.
Yep, all right. Looks like maybe there is some delay, but I think we are good. Yeah, Hemanan, so I have muted myself, so from the YouTube video.
Yes, I have. I have to.
Perfect, so we are all set. All right, how is everyone doing? So friends, please, if you're live, please post in the comment box if you can hear both of us okay. Just give it a thumbs up so that we know our setup is all right. So Banu is saying you are audible. All right, great. Okay, so
I
we
think we got a
are,
first question.
yeah, sure. So yeah, before we start with the first question, let me introduce Hemanand really quickly. Hemanand was a mechanical engineer. He transitioned to become a data analyst, and then he was promoted as a data analyst manager. So he's working for a company in UK. He brings lots of experience of data analyst. He's managing a team of data analysts. So he's involved with conducting interviews and so on. So we both will be answering your questions related to data analyst. I know questions are piling up, but we will be answering those questions and it will be a great session. The questions will be limited only to data analyst positions. So friends, please do not ask questions related to data scientist or programming jobs. This session is specially for data analyst career guidance. All right. So
Great.
people are saying that the setup is good. So let's start with the first question. You want to go with the first question, Hemanand?
Yes, Isabel. So thanks for introducing me. And I would like to add one more point to that. You can also ask questions regarding, you might have seen in job descriptions, the recent job descriptions, there is something called data and analytics, which is a variant of data analyst role. And I would like to, it's nothing but a combination of a business analyst and a data analyst. I would like to talk about that too. If you have questions around that, feel free to ask.
All right.
And yeah, the first question I see from Sonu.
Mhm.
Sir, I'm from BCom, which will be the best short-term course for me to transit to data analysis. Please guide me. Okay. So no, I would suggest not to take any course as such. So you can understand, Excel is the basics of all your analyst position, because when you go to a company, the first thing probably you'll touch is an Excel. So you can work on advanced Excel while you're doing your BCom. You can try to use advanced Excel and learn those formulas. Macros I would not suggest as it is, but you can also learn if you have a particular project that's working on macros. And once you have understood Excel, Excel is not just about spreadsheets. If you think about it, you can actually build a dashboard in an Excel. And once you have a bit of understanding with Excel, you can move on to a visualization tool like Power BI or Tableau. I would recommend Power BI because the transition from Excel to Power BI would be a lot easier than Excel to Tableau. And so once you have understood, okay, fine, I've built some basic skills. You can go for SQL course. SQL is I think is the first stepping stone for your data analyst position.
Yep. Please check the video description. I have links of a Sales Insight Power BI project that I did with Hemanan. And then I have a link of a BCom person who became a data analyst and working at Accenture. So we have those two video links. So please watch it. You will find it useful. So the second question is from Nagraj. Sir, do fresher get the role of data scientist or he should get the role of data analyst, then transition to data scientist? I'll quickly answer. So data analyst, the entry to barrier is it's little easier than data scientist because data scientist requires a lot of mathematical and statistics skills. So if you feel that you're not very like expert in, let's say, math and machine learning and all of that, data analyst is perfect for you. And then later on, once you are data working as a data analyst, then you can build those additional skills and then you can become data scientist. Sheikh is asking from where should I do data analyst projects for my resume. So again, I mentioned Sales Insight Power BI project. That's one project. Are there other project resources that you can suggest, Hemanand?
I mean, I would say Kaggle is one of the good resources to do some projects. And I've seen a lot of YouTube channels now. They are giving live projects. You could just type, whatever project you want to learn. Let's say you want to learn machine learning, just type machine learning like project in YouTube, and you would find at least 10 to 15 results, good ones, really good
I see.
ones. I mean, in code basics, there's a lot of projects that you have done, which is very useful. Yeah.
Yep. And I've seen on Udemy and Coursera, all these platforms, they have courses which are just the projects. So there will be like a Udemy course which you can buy for, let's say, 5,000 rupees or whatever. And that course will have only projects. So I suggest that you do those kind of projects. And then I have another video on how you can build project experience without having a job. So watch that video. And if you're looking for my video in the YouTube search, you can say code basics space how to get programming experience without job, where I have mentioned that you can go to an NGO and then, offer your help for free. So doing something like that will be helpful.
Yeah, agree.
Next question is from Ankit. He's saying, I have experience in SQL developer for 6 months and now currently working as a SQL developer. So can I become data analyst? Heman, you want to?
Yeah, I think Ankit, you're already data analyst. It's just the job description is different. A lot of times the data analyst is not one particular job skill. It's just SQL. Sometimes I've known people who are just working with Excel and they are still titled as data analysts, and they are good ones. So yes, SQL, if you are working as an SQL developer for 6 months, that's an ample of experience for you to become a data analyst.
Okay. K. Viru is asking, hi, Amanant. I am a mechanical engineer currently working in a KPO from past 1 year. So need your guidance.
Yeah, I think the first thing I would say is, like, if you want to transit from one domain to a data analyst domain, it's very easy, because any domain you take, any field, be it medical or be it mechanical engineering or be it production, so there is always data there. So out of your own curiosity, you should get those data that's related to your job. For example, I suggested this to one of my friend who was working in production. So I've suggested him to take all the he's working in a car manufacturer company, to just take out the number of cars that are being sold in a month, and just analyze the different variants of car that are being sold in a month, and try to get an idea out of it, some insight out of it, which variant of car is selling more, and understand why it is selling more. And you need data for that. If you go to the further level of understanding why, you would say, okay, the car is red color, the car is having certain level of engine, the car is, that's how you should learn, to become a data analyst. So try to get data from your domain, and get insights from that. Probably it's not in your job responsibility or description, but you should be, curious enough to get those data.
And K. Viru, we have had a session with Hemanand separately on this thing, where he has explained in detail how he became data analyst from mechanical engineer. He has mentioned all that journey, and the link of that video is in a video description. So please go watch that. There is a general question on what analysts do. I think we have covered that in this video that I had with Hemanand. So we should probably watch it, but in general, to summarize, they do data analysis, right? The name suggests what they do. So basically, they use a lot of SQL, Excel, visualization tool, building data stories, building dashboards, and so on. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm planning MS in data science from Canada. Is it tough? So let's keep these questions limited to data analysis. Now,
Yeah.
but I will just quickly answer, like, see, this is very subjective question. What is tough and not, right? Nothing is tough in today's age. That's what I would say, because we live in an era where information is readily available for free on internet. Look at all the YouTube channels. You can learn so many things for free. All you need is a passion and patience. Basically, those are the two things that you need. Let's say you're talking about data science, and if you want to build a machine learning model, nowadays you can use those TensorFlow, all the libraries. There are ready-made APIs. You don't have to hand code everything. When I did a neural network project while I was in college, I had to write the whole back propagation algorithm in C++. The time has changed. So friends, nothing is easy. It all depends on you. You can do it. Just have that spirit And go ahead, Tanya, I'm wishing you all the best. 15 David 10 is asking, I'm from BSc background in
I'm
medical.
sorry, Dhaval. I think we have skipped some questions. Probably after you, I see a question from Sophia.
Sure, you can go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, she says, I want put to experience in data analysis. How can I do this? To experience data analysis. So sorry, I don't get a question. So
Even I did not understand. So Sophia, you have to rephrase.
sorry.
So let's move on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next one from Lakshit. As a fresher, does an analyst get data to work on? Yes, definitely, Lakshit. So you always, as a fresher, so let's say you can get two kind of jobs, right? One is an internship, other is a junior position or something like that. So they always want to test you and give you more work. And if not, you should be, like you should be stepping up. You should be proactive. So I've seen some kind of people who really wait for the work to be given to them. So you should not be the one like that. You should be the one who's who gets to the people, ask, and more data to work on.
All right. 15 David 10 is asking, I'm from BSc background in medical
Yeah.
physiology. Would like to apply this domain knowledge in data analyst role. How can I extract meaningful insights from data?
I think we have answered that quite often, but I can still give this answer because it's a very interesting field. So if you're working in medical physiology, you can take the data. Maybe you won't get the data with the patient's name, but you will have it without the patient's name. You can understand what is the age group of these people, what is the gender. You understand which disease or which kind of ailment is more with male gender, is more with female gender, and you can understand the age group for which this ailment is being caused. And from this, you can get some meaningful insights. Okay, fine, this age group is affected by this. And you can also go to the other demographics, like which location they are coming from, which region they are coming from. Probably there is something wrong with that region. They are more close to the coal mines. That could be the thing. Another thing you can work on is like, you can get their occupation and understand, okay, fine, this occupation here is more hazardous to, or is more prone to this kind of ailment. You can get a lot of insights when you, especially when you are in the medical field. There's numerous amount of insights that you can get with data.
Exactly. The scope is humongous. Even if you want to get some data sets, you can get it from Kaggle, some of the Google resources. Friends, Google is your friend. Google is your real friend. Just Google it. You will find a lot of data set, a lot of useful cases. You can say, okay, applicability of data science in the field of medical physiology, and you will find some articles. So there are, and disease prediction is one of the niche areas, nowadays they are for when the baby is born, like they are doing like DNA analysis using data science, and they can predict that, okay, how much or what is the likelihood that this person will have disease at a young age. So you can do amazing things there. Rathesh is asking, I'm an ETL developer, where will I fit in? If you're ETL developer, yeah, looks like he's an ETL engineer.
Yeah.
If you're an ETL engineer, you are kind of already doing data analysis. Some of the ETL and data engineers, by the way, they get paid higher than data analyst. Okay. So if you are thinking of career move, like just be careful and just try to find out the opportunities in your own domain. You might be earning more money, and I know money is not the only criteria. You should be enjoying your work, but being an ETL developer, you are kind of ETL developer, Hemant, is like kind of you're doing data analysis, right? ETL is like you're transforming.
It's more about setting up the data. I mean, the data analyst role starts when when the data is already in the cloud or in SQL server.
Okay, so it's little later, yeah.
Yeah, so ETL comes a step before that, but you also do ETL when you extract the data from the SQL. So that's a bit ambiguous here. So when you are an ETL developer, you are a proper ETL developer where you get data from SAP or multiple sources and then put to the SQL server. You set up the data pipeline and everything. So there you become more like a data engineer. And when you are, like your data analyst, you also do ETL. You do the extractions from a load. That's always there, but it's not for it's not scalable. It's only for the particular project that you're working. That's the difference.
So if you are, to answer your question, you are already part of the pipeline. You are a little ahead of the data analyst. So if you want to become data analyst, yeah, you can use your ETL skills. Those skills will be super useful. Okay, what should a data analyst have? I think he's asking what skills data analysts have. Check the video description. I made a video on 8 skills that you need to have as a data analyst. Again, the link is in a video description. The next question is Tejas Shah, online MTech data science from MIT University or BITS Pilani. Is it worth or valid? So nowadays, Hemant, many people are asking me this question on these online courses. Like IIT Madras also has, I think since you are from Madras, I don't know if you know about this course. IIT Madras has a data science course, like pretty detailed one. And
Yeah.
he's asking about a few other institutes. So what is your take on that?
I think it's worth it. I mean, like it's not. It's definitely, if you think about engineering, it's outdated. Like all the mechanical, chemical engineers, all those engineering people are, somehow getting into this kind of jobs. So if you are deciding at an early stage that you want to go here, I think you'll gain more expertise at an early age. And but it should not be limited to that, to the thought like, okay, if I do this course, I will become a good data analyst. No, it's not like that. So it's just an aid to you, but definitely you need to work aside of that, outside your course.
And I always say that try to find some online reviews, or sometimes because Manan, these courses are very expensive. So the
Yes.
question is valid sometimes. I think IIT Madras course, the detailed one is, I think, more than 50,000, or if I'm
No,
remembering correctly, it's more, maybe a few
no,
lakhs.
no.
So
If you are, so to go back to your point, the so if I can go back to, I think, 8 years back, and if I have to do the things again, I would not opt for a college engineering degree. I think 12 years back, I started my bachelor's in 2008. So I would not do it. I would just go for some online course, like pay less, because at the job interview, nobody's going to look which university you're coming from. Yes, they do at a certain level, but if you're really good, if you manage to invest that money in different things and learn faster, you don't need to be in a college degree.
yeah. This is, I think,
Only,
online course. This is online MTech online course. So it is by
yeah,
college, but still it is an online course. So I think I agree with your point, Amanan, because when I was in college, I studied this electrical engineering. Even I studied like some subjects from civil engineering. I was a computer engineer, and then I was studying like structures and all that. And I
uh,
never used that knowledge. So I felt that that time was probably, I could have used that time more wisely into something else. But as far as online courses, specific courses on data science are concerned, I would say talk to your friends who have already done it and get the reviews from them. Neither me or Hemanan know about these courses. One person send me an email, and I looked at the IIT Madras course curriculum. It looked pretty good actually. And it is from IIT, so I'm assuming it's good, but then you have to actually take the course. Ultimately depends on a teacher. How well can teacher teach you? If the
yeah,
teacher is not able to teach you properly, doesn't matter. Let's say if you take the physics lesson from Albert Einstein, but let's say Albert Einstein is not good in teaching, not worth it, right? So the person should know how to transfer the knowledge in an effective way, and that you can know only by trying, by taking review from other people who have already done that course. Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna skip some of the questions which are kind of repeated. So the next question is, okay, what is the role of the data analyst? That's a very general question. I think we have answered in some of the videos. So I'll move on to the next question by Sai Sujit Gola, which is how much statistics is required for a data analyst just now graduated?
I think, Sai, it's very job specific or even project specific. So you should have some basic knowledge in statistics, that's for sure. So understand what is the probability, understand what is permutation, combination, all those basic things. 10 standard max, it's good enough for this. And but if you go to a particular project, you might need more statistics. For example, the first place where I applied statistics is when I have to find this covariance or the coefficient of variation, all those different things because of the particular project. Because I was trying to find the percentile of the product based on its selling and based on the volatility, all those kind of stuff. And it's when the first time I really learned after my 10 standard. I did not had a build up before my job. So it is, to answer a question short, it's very project specific.
Even I learned about Fourier transform just recently. I learned it maybe
Yeah,
10
yeah,
years back, but I forgot. And then I had a project where I need to learn it. So just learn as you go. I think that is the best
yeah,
thing. Otherwise,
yeah.
yeah, you don't need to be expert. All right. Sri is asking, I want to be Python data analyst. So some companies asking Django along with Python, Pandas, Matplotlib. Please give detail. I'm confusing. First of all, for data analyst, I don't know why they are asking for Django. Django is a web development framework in
Yeah.
Python. So if you're becoming a web developer, then Django is required. I do not have any idea why that company is asking.
Now
They should probably.
this is a very rare JD, I would say, because normally, it's not a role of a data analyst.
Maybe what happens, some companies, they do not have that much work for a data analyst, so but they have
Yeah.
some work for a software developer, so they're looking for a mix of both, that
Yeah.
okay, maybe 80% of time this person can do data analyst, but 20% time when the person is free, maybe they can help with our web development work as well. So not a bad idea. You can learn Django. It's again, in this era of internet of so many resources, if you have some web skills, of course it will be useful anyway, right? So just get some basics. But yeah, if you have full-fledged data analyst role, Django is not required, buddy. Devineni Vijayabhaskar, I'm studying BTech in data analytics. What should I have to learn? How to learn to perfect? Okay, very question. Please, friends, please ask specific questions. And if you have answered the questions, please do not repeat. There are so many questions piling up. So please help us. Okay, I will move on. What is the difference between data analyst and data scientist? I have a video for that. Just in the YouTube's, just say code basics, data analyst versus data scientist. I will briefly describe it. Data scientist is all the skills of data analyst plus some additional skills. What are those additional skills? Machine learning, advanced math, stats knowledge, and some advanced programming knowledge. That's a quick summary. If you want to go in detail, watch my video. Next question is, I'm working as ETL Informatica developer. Will it help in data? And I think we answered the question already
Yes.
for ETL. I have 8 years of experience. Yashasvi Rupwani. I have 8 years of experience in ITIL domain. I want to transition. Oh, what is ITIL domain? Do you know?
No, I'm sorry. Sorry, Ashi, seriously,
You
I have
know,
no idea.
Elon Musk actually once sent this angry email to all his employees, and he asked them not to use any abbreviation unless absolutely required. Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so I had a quick search. ITL is IT, is basically IT. So we can try to answer that question.
8 years of experience, IT, general IT, like
Yeah,
software developer.
it's different stages of IT. That's what I had found in my quick search. Yes, you can, of course. Yeah, it will always help you, because IT is enabler of all the data analyst, data scientist, software developer role. It's in the bottom. It's enabling everything. So if you have that experience, it's definitely come to use.
Yep. Okay. Mahim is asking if anyone wants to plan to become data scientist, then does it help to acquire data analyst skills? I think I answered this question. Data scientist meaning all data analyst skills plus some additional skills. So I hope that answers your question. Likhit Reddy is having experience in digital marketing for 3 years. How is it will be to transition to data analyst? What will be expected from me considering? All right, so I know about digital marketing because my brother has a software company and he runs digital marketing department. And I talk to those people. They help me do my YouTube work as well. Are you having experience with SEO, some HTML, some basic coding knowledge, Likit? If you have that, that will be useful. Because when you're doing SEO, which is what digital marketing specialists often do, you get a feel of like programming, like HTML and so on. Okay, so you have that programming base, little bit set up. Also, if you're doing digital marketing, you must be sending your customers your detailed analytics reports. So like every month, let's say you paid some money on Facebook ad campaign. So how much you paid versus how much subscribers you grew, if it is YouTube channel, or how much like you get on your Facebook ad campaign and so on. So you must be providing those analytics reports to your client. I would suggest that you build some data analytics on top of that work. Generally, those reports are generated by Google Analytics or YouTube Analytics for free for you. But maybe you take those reports and start doing a little bit more analysis on top of that. So the best way for you, Likhit, is you start doing data analysis in your current job. Okay. And then that's how you slowly transition. There is no like a magic switch. It's like, okay, I'm digital marketing specialist. Tomorrow I become data analyst. There is no magic switch. Everything is a journey. So you have to start applying data analyst skills for little problems in your experience. Then you take some courses and learn those skills, learn Power BI, learn whatever, and then you transition. Okay.
Yeah.
Abdul Rahman, are you on the same page, Hemanand? Are you looking at the same questions around?
Yeah, definitely. But I can also add one more point to that. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell you some tangible steps to do it. But Dhaval has already said that. So just go to Google Analytics, get those data, and try to visualize them, because the Google Analytics visualization is very limited. You won't have all kind of visualizations, right? So you will have only 3 or 4 sets of visualizations. Just try to build different visualizations. Just try to build your top 5 customers. Just try to build your top 5. Create a monthly report based on your own data. Do it on your own, and I think that will help you a lot, because this digital marketing and data analyst, if this is combined, it becomes really powerful. That's my opinion. Yeah.
Yep. All right. You want to take next question by Abdul Rahman?
Yes. So he's asking, I'm a mechanical engineer, what is the best career in machine learning? So I think he wants to ask, what is the best career in data science?
What is the best career in machine learning? All right. Again, I think vague question. Let's go to the next question. Sorry, friends, please ask a very specific question. Okay. Humble request. Sophia Fever.
Sophia,
Same. I think this is the same question that we had. Yeah. Okay. Ashish Agrawal. I find machine learning data science hard to pursue. Should I move on to become data analyst? Ashish, yes. Yes. Simple answer is yes. All right. Next question.
Kasturi Basu. I'm a BSc mathematics student. I have learned SQL Python from YouTube. Great. What course should I take, or would self-study will be good enough to get a job? So I think next step, Kasturi, is to do some real-time projects and add it in your resume and try to contribute something to open source. I think Dhaval says it quite a few times that's really, really important. I can vouch for that. And now what you have to do is like make your resume good. Now you are convinced that you have learned it. You just have to make the other person sitting next to you convinced that you're good in that. So just show some experiments that you have done with your data. Have a Kaggle profile. People really like to go to your Kaggle profile and see what you have done. Have a GitHub profile. So all these things are really make your profile kind of unique from other profiles if you have them.
Yep. All right, friends, if you're liking this session so far, please give it a thumbs up so that it can reach to other people and you can benefit. You can also share with your WhatsApp. We still have some time left, probably half an hour. So if someone wants to join, just send them a quick message and they can join. All right. What are the skills? Satyam is asking, what are the skills required to start the internship in big companies as a data analyst? I am BTech final year students and how to learn those skills, guide some projects as well. Okay, so these are like internship skills. So I will say something on this. So if you want to get internship in some big companies such as, let's say, Amazon, you need to have something unique on your resume, because just think about that. Like those guys receive so many resumes every day. What unique do you have? I always suggest one thing, which is open source contribution. This is the biggest thing that is lacking. People think they cannot contribute to, for example, Pandas open source because they are not expert. It's not like that. Sometimes they have just minor, if you go to, let's say, Pandas GitHub page and go to the issues tab, they will have very simple minor issues, like maybe one line of code change. You do that, and if your pull request gets merged, you can highlight that on your resume. That will be super useful. Building connections on LinkedIn is equally useful. Go to LinkedIn. Let's say you are trying to apply for Amazon Hyderabad office. Find some people from Amazon Hyderabad office. Make a good repo. There are some communication protocol. Okay, you don't want to be annoying to them. Those are busy people. Build a connection. Try to have a conversation, maybe on a chat or a phone. Try to get some guidance. Those people will guide you. They will exactly tell you how to get internship. Heman, you have any tips?
Yeah, definitely. LinkedIn is really helpful. Sometimes you don't even need to contact them, because if you're active in LinkedIn, people will notice you and they'll approach you. I can say this works really well. So you just have to, rather than just resharing or just liking something, start posting something. Like you might have your opinion which you think is too small, but it's always a good insight to share, and that might be very helpful.
Naija is asking, will my ETL experience count in data analyst job? Absolutely. ETL is one
Yes.
of the things that data analysts do. Highlight those words. If you use Informatica, Apache, NiFi, whatever tools you have used, highlight it. I was looking at one resume the other day, and the person highlighted all his technical skills on the left bottom corner of the resume. The interviewer is not going to find it. Your skills should be mentioned at the very top. It should be apparent. It should be at the top, maybe top left or top right, but it should be very, very apparent. And if you're applying for data analyst job, the keywords that the interviews are looking for are the ETL skills, data cleaning skills, Power BI, Tableau, the visualization tools, SQL, the statistics, maths. Those keywords should be highlighted. I did a resume review session with my other data analyst friend. I have a link of that in the video description below. Please watch that. It's very important. Resume building is very important. You need to have a solid resume.
Yeah, agree. All right. So the next question from KK. She asks, where did you find personal projects to make a portfolio for job applications and only make sure it's correct? So you can find it in Kaggle, GitHub, and all those things, and you can make sure it's correct if it is downloaded by a lot of people. It shows it's popular, and that's how you should find it.
And when you're making projects, like don't have like Titanic project or
Yeah,
like just some of those common projects on your resume. You can take you can use the same concept and maybe do a unique project, that separates you out from the crowd. So I did this sports celebrity image classification project on my YouTube channel, and I suggest people that we did sports celebrity image classification. What you can do is now you can take the pictures of, let's say, politician or some spiritual leaders or even your family members, and then try to make a project on that. So instead of sports celebrity image classification, which anyone can find on YouTube, and the interview will be like, oh, this guy just did a copy, you will be like, okay, this is a classification project for, let's say, spiritual leaders. And by doing that, you will, although the concept is same, but it's your own unique project. You are learning something new. Okay. So that's one thing. And other skill we already mentioned, which is helping, going to
yeah,
NGO. Like, can you find some NGO in your city? Just go to them and say, okay, I want to help you. It will require some afford and some creative thinking. They might just say no, but nothing comes in life for easy. Try it. Try to help people. That will be, and that way, let's say if some NGO, some orphanage you are going to, okay, they will have some system, some data, like, or if they don't have a system, try to build them a system where they can keep track of their finances and so many things. And you will learn so many things because that will be a real project. You're not working on some stupid dummy project. Okay.
yeah.
Nagaraj, do I need any certified course to become a data analyst? Like any certifications, Hemanand?
Yeah, I think Nagaraj, if you think about it, why would you need a certification? So if there is other person who is a competitor to get the job, has done the same course and with the certification, it looks good on the resume, right? Like the person is showing, is presenting, the profile better than you. That's the only reason you need a certification, but it's not a must. So if you have done a lot of other things, like you have done a lot of projects and stuff like that, certifications is not that needed, especially for freshers. I think certification is just a boost up to say that, okay, fine, you have done a certification, you have dedicated some 60 hours, 100 hours of time to learn this course. That's more like a validation. But if you're a person with already a good experience, I don't think certification matters.
Rajan Kashyap is asking a very good question. He's a chemistry graduate. He learned from all the videos and then he applied in many companies, but he's not receiving any call. This is the common thing that people have. People are like, okay, we are learning from videos and all the courses. That's fine. But now we apply in the companies, we are not getting any call. You're not getting any call because how does your resume look like? First of all, does your resume has anything unique? We already mentioned open source contribution. Rajan, can you go to right now, can you go to Google Pandas GitHub, go to the GitHub page of Pandas, look at all the open issues, try to find out very simple issue, and then try to contribute to that, and then add that line in the resume that I have contributed to Pandas open source. Or, or we just mentioned about NGOs and doing real life projects. Do you have a real life projects? Because just think, I'm hiring data analyst. I get the resume and all I see is, okay, chemistry background, and there are no projects. Like, why would I hire anyone? Especially in the competitive market in India, where you get so many resumes from BTech background, and anyone with BTech in computer science, at least they have learned programming as a part of their curriculum. You have to do some extra work, Rajan, with the chemistry background. Maybe take the chemistry project that you did in your college, okay, and try to maybe analyze some molecules or something using data science. Try to build a visualization in Power BI in chemistry domain. So it's like you have already that domain knowledge, and domain knowledge is very important, by the way, for data analyst. So if you're competing with a BTech computer science person, that person has a knowledge of programming, but what that person doesn't have is a chemistry domain knowledge. So that is a plus point for you. Harness that plus point that you have. All right.
Yeah, agree.
You want to add anything, or we should move on?
No, I'm good with what you said.
Mustafa Kolo, he's my friend. I know Mustafa. You just sent so many messages. I'm glad that you have joined this session. Rajan Kashyap, I think he's just asked similar.
Yeah, the same question.
All right, Rajan, please do not spam. All right, we are going in sequence. Please do not spam, friends. We are going in sequence, and everyone will try to answer as many questions as possible. Jagdish Reddy is, can I know what is the difference between data analyst and data science? Google can answer, but I want. Yeah, I have a video on that. I already mentioned it, so go watch my video, friends. If you want to watch my video specifically in YouTube, first type code basics, then type the topic name. That way YouTube will direct to my videos. Okay, so you can say core basics, data analyst versus data scientist versus data engineer. That's the name of that video. So please watch that. What is the future of data analyst role if we consider automation? Very good question. You want to answer that?
Yeah. Yes, it's a very good question. I can answer this from my personal experience, Ashish. So when I started, becoming this kind of person, who understands data and everything, I started with Power BI. And in Power BI, if you want to do this merging operations, this appending, all this counting the rows, all those things, there is a button for that. So you can simply click two tables and say merge, and it simply merges, and it gives you 6 options. Whether if you want to do the left merge, right merge, inner, outer, and you just select the option. This is already an automation. And later I learned there is a code. What is the code behind it? At first, I just simply click buttons. But when I need to do some optimization, I learned, okay, what is the code behind that? The SQL code of how to merge and, all those operations. In future, what I would say is like, there is already this language which has come, this GPT-3, which would just transit your speech to, some app. So what I would then say is like, be at the top of the game and start learning these tools, which is doing the automation. So then you'll be always in the game, right? So don't be just, some people are very reluctant to learn new things, and they would have learned, amazing codes and everything. They would know it by heart. So they will always, feel reluctant to use these new tools, which is automating the work they are doing. And, don't do that. So you should be always ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn. That's what I always think of doing.
Yep. All right. You want to move to a next question?
Yes, sir.
So you can move to the next question. Meanwhile, since so many questions have piled up, I'm trying to answer some questions by typing it in.
Right, cool.
So you can go to the next one.
Yeah. Next question from Sai Chandra. I'm cognizant as Oracle developer. I want to shift career. I know Excel, Tableau, SQL, Power BI, Python, machine learning. Perfect. So you are really in a good path, I would say, and just start applying for jobs like Dhaval mentioned. Please make sure resume looks good. So people can't really know what you know unless you have it in your resume. So present it in a very good manner. That's the first step. And I wish a very good luck to you.
And if you're an Oracle developer, like, as I say, like some of the software engineers, they earn, at least money-wise, they earn more than data analysts if you're experienced and so on. So please consider, I'm not saying you should not do it, but keep in mind those factors, because right nowadays there is so much hype of data science and data analyst, Hemanand, that people just want to join the bandwagon.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
is a good career, but look at your own situation.
No, I can add to that also. One of my friends, he's a software engineer and developer. So he's very clear that he doesn't want to become a data scientist, but he's learning all those things. He just learned all those things because he just want to widen his spectrum of knowledge. But
Oh,
there are a few people who have made this transition, and I also know one person who has like went to the domain and learned, also have domain knowledge. So he kind of worked in warehouse and distribution, and as an ERP person, and then he with the subject knowledge and with his ERP knowledge, so he's definitely making more money than that. Not just for the money's sake, but also as a person is more satisfied because he's doing more job, he's more able now. And probably if you have such scenarios, then please consider doing this shift. If you don't, let's say if you don't make money at the same time, you also are not doing more things, then it's not worth doing it. So just consider that thing. I think that's what I want to compliment to your comment.
I was talking to my friend who is into finance. So he manages the
Yeah.
finance of a company, and he's learning Power BI now because he's actually a finance guy. He just deals with purely
Yeah.
finance guy. But then he
Yeah.
says that when I learn Power BI, it kind of empowers me. So finance is
Yes.
his main skill set, but then this extra tool or extra like magic
Yeah.
sword that you have,
Yeah.
it can
Exactly.
help you conquer the battle. It can, like,
Yeah.
because nowadays, like, that person will rely on either data analyst or software engineers to give him the data that he wants. But sometimes the people can fudge the data. Now he's like, all right, tell me your MySQL source. I know Power BI. I will hook it
Yeah.
up with that, and I will do
Exactly.
data analysis.
Man, this is exactly. See, you said the right word. You can win the battle if you have the ability to access the data and analyze it. Like this is what we call it data literacy in our company, and we try to educate people on basic things. It's not really difficult, like just type the server and get it connected, and within 1 hour you will learn to do basic things, right? So you can just put the things together, have some bar charts, pie charts, whatever you want. It's not very difficult.
Yep. Nerd activity. How to learn
How
Excel
to try.
totally zero. You have any comments on that?
Yeah, you can go for some tutorials like just type learn Excel. Like, I mean, Google is your guru, mentor, and friend. Just type learn Excel from basics. You'll find a lot of courses, especially for Excel, and go for the ones that are you know you can have some 3 or 4 courses in the beginning, and within 1 hour of spending 1 hour, sometime you will understand which instructor or which course is more suitable for you. So just select accordingly and then go forward.
And edX.org is a good website for these
Yeah.
courses. They have like free
Yeah.
courses. I personally like that
Yeah.
website. So try
Yeah.
to find some project. I have in the video description, I made a video on how to learn data analysis skills for free, where I mention all the skills, Excel, SQL, and I have also linked the free resources. So please go watch that video, go to the video description, and per skill, I have mentioned all the resources like edX courses and YouTube tutorials and website and so on. So
Yeah.
yeah. All right, Rose
All
Gaylor,
right.
sir, is it compulsory that I should know all the insights of predefined functions like how the HAR cascade and OpenCV? All right, I'll skip the question. Please restrict your question to
Yes.
data analysis as well.
Yeah. It's
How
outside of.
to, yeah, how to get first job in data analysis and data science? How to get a first job? Any other things, any new things that you have, Hemanand, other than the things that we discussed?
I don't think so, but I can just say to you, Mudit, like keep your contention really, really tight because you have a lot of competitors. So the first thing is like your resume. Just see what your resume reflects. That's very important.
Okay. Hemanand, can you read the next question? I lose
Yeah,
track of
sure.
it.
Sorry, I keep forgetting. Sorry, I'll read next few questions though. So
Sure.
I'll
Okay.
make I'll make sure I'll do that. And yeah, next question is from Mehul. And sir, I'm a 15-year-old and have learned ML from watching your videos. Should I do internship in ML company? I think this question is more to you, though.
ML video. Oh, sorry, I lost the I don't know what this YouTube is doing. I think it's not showing the question. I think I'm okay.
Okay,
So
so anyways, it's out. It's not data analyst, so we can skip it if you want.
yeah, let's skip it. Yeah.
Yeah. So next question is from Akash. I've done classes of Power BI, Tableau, SQL, machine learning, Python, and R, and so can crack the job for data analytics or data science. How to prove myself in the interview? So let's assume that you have got into the interview, Akash. Then the questions are more going to be around your resume. You're been to the interview just because your resume is really good to them and it has appealed to them, and they think you can offer something to the company, which is like 60% that you're already selected or 50% you're already selected. You just have to be confident, and so all the things that you have in your resume. So you should make sure that you know all of them, right? You can't, like, if they ask you something that you have in your resume that you say that you know, but at the same time, at the interview, if you're not able to prove that, that's bad. So that's the only thing you need to make sure. So you should be able to prove everything that you have in your resume. I think that's good enough. Right. Next question from KK. How do you make sure that your project is accurate? No, this is a very vague question. I'm not sure what she's asking. Please repeat your question, Kay. It's not very clear to me. And next question from Sangram Patil. Sir, I'm an electronics engineer working as assistant professor. Can I get a job of BA? Yes, Sangram, definitely you can, but you need to work towards that. You can start with doing some courses, get some, get some real-time projects, and start with things in your domain, which would be very helpful to you.
So Sangram is a professor, right, in the college?
Yes.
Yeah, I have been getting many questions from professors. Actually, if you're a professor, actually you are kind of in a sweet spot where you can help students with their projects and use data science. Let's say you are in electronics department of a college. Can you build a system for that college? Because college has needs of these different software systems. So just try to help them build a system. And if they already have a system, which they will probably have, try to do some data analysis on that system. Like, so let's say in your electronic department, what's the growth rate of number of incoming students, or the grade, or whatever, you can find some problems in the job that you're already doing. And that is often the best way to do it.
Right. And I think the next question is from Jagdish. He's asking, I'm an MBA graduate. Is it good to start changing career from MBA to data analyst or data science? This question is very subjective, Jagdish. I'll tell you one thing, like whatever options you have, just try to weigh them. So you can apply data analytics here. So what I'll do, I'll tell you. So if I'm confused between choosing A and B, I would list all the components of A, I would list all the components of B, and I would list in A, A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, I would give weightage to them, and I would just rate them based on what I feel. I would try to convert my qualitative information to quantitative, and then whichever has more point, I would decide on that. So if you want to have a data approach to choose between the two options, I can suggest this one.
I would want to add something,
Yes.
which I think we have discussed before as well, which is I went to my friend's home, I think 2 days back, and I met a person who is a physical therapist, and he became a data scientist. So now, being a if you are a mechanical engineer and become a data analyst, yes, you still have engineering background, some math and whatever, right? This person is a physical therapist. He studied medical, then he practiced as a PT, physical therapist, and now he become data scientist. So the opportunities you have is humongous. You can do anything actually in today's era. All the resources you have and the accessibility that you have, that makes the time that we are living in as of 2020 a very different. If you have wanted to do this like 10 years back, let's say 10 years back, a physical therapist wanted to become software engineer, you cannot even think about it. But now we have tremendous opportunities. So friend, do not think, like, many times I get this question, I do not have computer science background, can I become data analyst? I get like so disheartened when I get this question. It's like, absolutely you can. In order to become data analyst, you do not need computer science degree, period. There are people from different domains. Like, for example, if you're talking about financial data analysts, like they have financial data analysts, retail data analyst. Those people are the ones.
We have a lot of
right? Those people are the one who bring a lot of domain knowledge, so your domain knowledge is super useful. You need to aid that with your technical skills, which are easy to learn. For data analysts, whatever skills you need, they are actually easy to learn. If you're talking about data scientists, then yeah, I'll say, yeah, you need some advanced math, stats, machine learning. So their learning curve is steep. But for data analysts, absolutely you can do it. So friends, please do not ask this question ever again, which is, I don't have computer science background. Can do it? You can absolutely do it. Like, no doubt about it.
Okay. Yeah, totally agree. All right, some questions are repeated. Also, I'll skip them.
Just skip,
And
yeah.
there is, yeah, one from Sauradeep Singha. Suppose if I want to be data analyst, and in which branch I should do MBA to be better data scientist in future. So I think he wants to become data scientist then,
Yeah.
because it's talking about the future. So if you're an MBA, I think somewhere in marketing could help you, or somewhere in operations. Operations, I would say, would help you a lot, because it involves a lot of data. You generate a lot of data, because everything you touch in operations, it's generating at least 10 to 15 points of data. So think about doing it in operations, and it definitely does. It does good scope. And yeah, do you want to add something to that, though?
No. Let's move on
Right.
to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah, and Shaker is saying statistics are very difficult. Yeah, it depends upon what you learn, and because that's not a question, I'll go to Deepak.
And so I'll add something like,
Yeah.
actually, see, the thing which is, if something is difficult or not, it actually depends on the teaching style of a person. For example, you are trying to learn math. Okay, so there is a website called mathisfun.com. Amazing website. That the way they teach math is very practical. So when, for example, you are learning about vector math or matrix mathematics. Okay, many times vector and mathematics throws people off. They think, okay, this is too complex. Actually, it's not. This guy, mathis.fun.com, the way they teach about vector is they will give you the example of an aeroplane. So let's say aeroplane is flying. Okay, so that is your one vector. It has two things, which is a direction and the speed. Now, let's say there is a wind. Wind is coming from this direction. So wind also has a direction and a speed. So that will now shift plane's motion, and the resultant motion that you get is nothing but an addition of two vectors. Now, if your math teacher did not explain you, he just goes into those jargons directly, then it will create this bias in your brain that, okay, I'm not good in math. I suck at. I see many people complaining, oh, I'm not good in math. Dude, come on, get some coffee. You are having a very bad bias in your brain. Go to right resources. Then you will realize you are good in math and statistics. So math and statistics, friends, those are not complex. I'm telling you, those are easy things to do. You need to learn it from right resources. Mathisfun.com, 3B1 Blue, the 3 blue 1 brown YouTube channel that you have. So just go to right resources, have patience, and do not give up.
All right. So I'm just following through the questions. Some of them are repeated, and some of them we've already answered. And yeah, there is a persistent question from Mohammed Rajab. He's asking, is it good for a 14-year boy to learn data science? Yes, it is good. You can learn data science at any age that you're capable of. And I'll move on to the next one. How much SQL knowledge is required for data analyst? I would say if you learn SQL, even if it is not in your job description, it's going to be useful to you. So I would say it's a basic for a data analyst. So have some very basic things like how to select the data, how to merge the data, how to find the top rows, how to remove the top rows, how to get the top row. So these are the basic kind of operations you can look into. These are very simple. So if you want, there is a course in Data Camp that I did. It's for free. So there is some hands-on training in Data Camp. So go try that. It's really good.
Can you send me a link of that course? So I will link. So friends, I will add that link of DataCamp course in the video description later. Okay, so you can just check later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do that.
And I will add something to that, which is I have a friend. I interviewed him. His name is Chinmay. He's also a data analyst he became data analyst from mechanical engineering background. He applied in a bunch of companies recently, and there they ask basic SQL questions such as what you mentioned, like foreign keys, primary keys, just basic question which you can learn easily. Just spend few days, super easy. Khan Academy has a very good course, and there is a Kuda Venkat, that's a YouTube channel. That person is very good in terms of teaching SQL. Just very, very basic. After that, you need some level of programming, because Hemanand, like this friend who interviewed in different companies, including Fractal Analytics. In I think all of his interviews, they were asking him to write programming test for a data analyst position.
Okay.
But the thing is that programming test was very, very easy. So they
Okay.
will ask you a question on how you can read this CSV file into pandas data frame. How do you get minimum out of it? Super easy. So do not think that, okay, SQL and programming is not my cup of tea because you have this prejudices in your brain and I cannot do it. You can, of course, do it. They're not going to ask you very, very like binary tree question in your data analyst interview. So, and this is based on my conversation with the people who recently did interviews as of like August 2020. So this is the trend you're seeing, like very basic programming test, then some basic SQL questions and so on.
All right, so there is one interesting question from Shamuga Priya. Is domain knowledge expected in data analyst interview? Is the Tableau certification necessary on the resume? Okay, there are two questions here. First thing is domain knowledge is definitely expected. If let's say you have two data analysts with same technical skills and they're hiring you for a supply chain data analyst role, and if you had some experience in any part of supply chain, if you think about it, supply chain is a very wider, it's a very wide field where you can be in a demand planning, supply planning, or inventory, or you can be warehouse and distribution and all those things. So if you had worked in any one of those projects in any of the subdomains, you will have an upper hand. So domain knowledge is definitely expected, and it's an add-on advantage in some cases. But technical skills can always be acquired. For domain knowledge, you need to be there. You need to be in the space for have some experience. That's why it's always an add-on advantage in your interview. Right. And yeah, I think Manish is asking a question that you already answered. So he says that he doesn't have a +2 grad. He doesn't have a math in +2, and so can he become a data scientist? Yes, you can. You can learn. You can learn at any stage. And how do I get an internship for data analyst? Many companies asking experience for data analyst. How should a fresher apply for data analyst? I think you have covered that, right, Dhaval? Like, it's very, very well
for
covered.
internship. Yes, you need something unique on your resume, and you need connections, friend. Connections are very important. Okay, you think that you'll apply for like 100 companies, you'll get a job. Like if you apply through some person who's already working in that job, that referral has a weightage. So build connections through LinkedIn, through whatever medium. Go to conferences. I know COVID, no conference, but in general advice.
Oh, okay. All right. So
if you're looking at question, I think, see, what YouTube did for me is I'm not able to see some of the question at the top. So I'm kind of halfway. So while you look for a question, let me read the question. I'll just answer it. So Suyok Kanal is asking, going for MSc data science direct after bachelor's or getting industry experience for some year, which one is important? I want to make a career abroad. So if you're wanting to make a career abroad, and if you're trying to pursue MSc in data science, I think MSc in data science from a university in foreign country is a good idea. Did you do that, Hemanand?
No, I did a master's in supply chain.
You did master in supply chain from Germany, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I actually recently did an interview with Vijay, and he's saying that Germany is a very good option if you want to move abroad, because the education is literally like free. He told me it's like some 30,000 rupees for his entire education. I'm like, in kindergarten school in India charges more than that.
No, yeah, it is like that. So it's a very good system in Germany. So all the universities are, public universities are funded by the industries themselves. So they fund us universities, so they get quality people who they can hire. right? They
Wow.
have an ecosystem like that. It's not just state funded. State is giving some money to these universities, but also industries provide money to these universities. So if you go for a particular city, all the industries around that city funds these universities, so they can train people really well, and that's really good. But there are also universities in Germany that are quite expensive, and if the university is free, you just have to pay for the the social contribution fee, which will come around the money 30,000 for 6 months. It's
Oh, so friends, please watch this YouTube channel called Bharat in Germany. That YouTube channel has a lot of good resources on how you can come to Germany for an education and so many different questions they can answer. Because when you're thinking about pursuing your education, most of the time people think about US or Australia, but Germany is becoming a very good option nowadays because the education is free, and there are a lot of jobs. So if you watch my video that I did with this data scientist called Vijay, he did his data science degree in Germany. He was also from electrical engineering background. Like, see, surprisingly, I'm talking to so many data analysts and data scientist people. None of them are from computer engineering background. And I have so many videos on my channel, and people ask me, I'm not from computer science background. Can I become data analyst? I'm like, every single person I talk to, none of them are from computer science background. So yeah, Bharat in Germany is a good channel. Pursue, think about Germany is an option. I live in US, so I can talk about US. In US, after you do master, you get like 3-year OPT, where you don't have to worry about your H1B, etc. And you will end up doing okay. So do not worry about, okay, whatever the current administration stands on immigration or COVID and so on. You should just pursue your dream, come here, you will end up doing good most of the time. Like, there is a big likelihood that you will end up doing good. And we make the decisions in our life based on probabilities. No one can guarantee your future, right? Whatever you're doing, like when you go outside on your bike on a road, it's probability. You're not sure you will come back. You might get into accident, but think about probability. Okay, majority probability is that you will go on bike and come back home safe. Similarly, if you're coming here in US for masters, there's like 99% probability that you will end up doing good. You will get your job, you will get 3-year OPT, and most likely you'll get your H1 as well. Be
yeah,
optimistic.
truly, yeah, well said, Tavan. So I'm just picking some questions randomly because I think there are too many questions now,
Yeah.
and I found something interesting. So
Mhm.
Pankaj is asking how to find the problem statement in the current job to improve data analysis skills, which is a real good question. So how to find a problem statement? So in your current job, think about the domain that you're working. So every domain has its own KPI, key performance indicator, right? They want to hit a sales target, either they want to, if you're in procurement, you want to have work within the budget. So your variance of your budget and the actual budget that you spend should not be too high. So there is always some performance associated with your domain, right? So take that performance and try to understand why the performance is meeting the standards or not meeting the standards. So if it is not meeting the standards, it is good in this aspect. So you can try to understand why. You always ask why, and you get the data points below that, right? The data points is always associated with your processes and the people, and of course the data. So you just try to combine all of this together, and just give a session to your manager or whoever is the person in charge in terms of data. Just try to understand the data behind this performance. I think that's how you should find the problem statement. Always go for the performance of your domain.
Yep, very well said. Can you answer this question? It is from Parth Koltharkar. He has masters in industrial engineering and management. He's looking for a supply chain analyst role. What should he do in terms of project?
I mean, in terms of project, look for a inventory optimization project, because if you're an industrial engineer and if you're looking for in supply chain, inventory plays a major role. It's not just in supply chain. If you talk about any company, inventory plays a major role. Just by optimizing your inventory, you can do wonders, right? You can save a lot of money for your company. And I also found there are a lot of projects related to inventory optimization, and just try to pick one of them. And if you don't find something related to inventory optimization, you can find anything related to supply chain, be it a transportation problem, which is related to supply chain. There are quite few online. Just try to find them, the one that suits you.
So like how to transform. I know, like I have an Amazon warehouse near my home, and then they have this, I think, rules where, you know, they will try to keep the stuff which is in near, they will try to analyze a demand in particular region, and they will set up a warehouse in the middle of that region. And then they will try to solve the needs so that the transportation cost can be minimized and all. So there is like a lot of science and technology behind it.
Yeah, that's a network optimization problem, like where you really keep your warehouse in a such place, so which is, you know, in which the cost is very efficient. No, the easy option is to make it equidistant, right? To keep it in the center, but sometimes it's not the right idea, because even if it is equidistant, you have the number of times that you might go from point A to B is more than point A to C. So you optimize it. That's what if you are doing your MBA or if you are doing anything else, operations research, if you have done that particular part of the course, you would have understood this. It's very interesting. And talking a bit more about inventory, it's a concept where you need to always serve your customer. You never have to go out of stock. For example, if I want a product from you, and if it says out of stock, you will go to my competitor, right? So what will I do? I can have infinity amount of stock, so I will always give you the stock, right? But then what happens is, like, you will spend so much money in holding the space, in having the number of people to ship it in or ship it out. So you need to balance between the both, right? You should always serve your customer. At the same time, you should make your operating costs low. So the right optimum balance is what you find with inventory optimization. It covers all parts of supply chain. So go for inventory optimization if you're interested in supply chain.
Perfect. Prasanna Vidal is asking, what is the first step to learn data analyst? Excel, correct?
Excel, yeah. Excel, Power BI, yeah, go for it.
Right now, I think since we are already past 1 hour, maybe do you have some more few minutes, Hemanand?
Yeah, sure. Can
we extend? Okay, because I know so many people are asking questions. I feel kind of bad to not answer all the questions.
No, let's do it. Yeah.
So what we'll do is, now let's go through the questions, the repetitive questions. Just skip it. Anything which we find interesting and something which we have not answered, let's do that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I found one though.
Okay.
So Dignesh is asking, I would like to do masters in UK in business analytics. Please tell me about the career. I think business analytics is something, I would say it has a lot of scope, because it's not purely data analytics. It's something, any data analytics role is combined with the business. But if you are doing business analytics, you would understand a bit more about how the performances or how the KPIs, play the role in the business. It has a bit of MBA in it, because it kind of gives an idea how the business works. I mean, I'm talking about the course that you're going to do. So it starts with the business. It starts with the performance and the process and the people. Then you would have this data. Then you would understand how this is all connected together and how you can make the change. At the same time, you will also learn all the technical things of SQL, Excel, Power BI, which I think is a good option. If you have a business analytics course, I would suggest go for it.
Okay. Hey, Hemanand, I'll take a quick break. Meanwhile, you can just keep on answering the question. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Go ahead. And the next question is from Jishan Khan. So from where anyone can get data for practice purpose? Yeah, I think we answered this question. You can get it from Kaggle or you can get it from GitHub. It's a good source. And there are a lot of YouTube channels nowadays. You can get this data from there. And I'm self-learning, Sunil Kumar Gowda. I'm self-learning data science, and I would like to thank Mr. Dhaval. Your videos are really doing me greatly. Definitely, I think Dhaval is helping a lot of us, and I myself have learned a lot of questions from Dhaval, a lot of concepts from Dhaval. I'm sure he'll read your message. And Ankit is asking, is programming necessary for becoming data analyst? So it depends, Ankit. Like it depends on what kind of role is that. It's very job specific and also sometimes project specific. So you can do data analyst role, with very minimal programming knowledge. I can vouch for that. Okay. Prasad Patil, post-graduation diploma in supply chain will be helpful to switch career in data analytics in supply chain. Yes, I think it would definitely help Prasad, because have a similar profile like that. So I did my postgraduate in supply chain, and I joined when I started my career. It was in operations. I did my internship in operations team. Then I did my first again. I did an internship in demand planning team, and gradually I started learning data, and then moved to this field. So I think it will definitely help you. And so Deva, you got a diehard fan, Bala Saraswati. Great, Bala. Keep following. And Karan Kapoor, is BBA in business analytics good for pursuing? Yeah, I think I answered this question. Yes, it is good.
Okay, I'll take this question. I have Ranjit Kumar is asking. He has 14 years of experience in telecom pre-sales, solution architecture, and he used to do customer network analysis and other related analysis. So looks like you are already doing an analysis. And what are your views? So yeah, so Ranjit, you're already doing an analysis. You just need to employ some of the data analysis tools in whatever job you're doing currently. So in your current job, can you use Power BI? Can you use SQL? Can you use Python and Pandas? Yeah, so that's the advice I have.
Yeah, I see some of the questions. Yeah, for statistics, which one should data analysts learn? Excel, Python, or R? Excel is a basic step. And for statistics, I'm not an expert, but I've heard from my friends who are really good in data science and stuff like that. They prefer R over Python for statistics. For data manipulation, for exploratory data analysis, they prefer Python. But for statistics, they prefer R for some good reasons, because of the visuals in it, and the ability to do some deep statistic analysis. But if you're in for basics, I think Python will do as well.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. And the thing about programming languages is like it's all syntax. So once you learn one programming language, other programming language should be pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Ashish is asking why companies are not hiring fresher as a data analyst. So Ashish, just think about it. So I have a position, okay, data analyst position. I'm paying 50,000 rupees a month salary, just making it up. I get two resume. One resume says like 10 years of experience data analyst. The other resume is fresher. Obviously, think from company's perspective. They're going to obviously go for experienced person. It's like as simple as that. Therefore, I say that you want to make yourself different from the crowd and want to have something unique on the resume. Can you participate in Kaggle competition or some hackathon and just say that, okay, I have done this course, or open source contribution. I always talk about it. So have like first two or three unique lines, first 2 or 3 lines in your resume should show something unique about you, so that the interviewer is compelled to call you for an interview. Think from the interviewer's perspective. And that's the only thing I can say. And the other thing I would say is, being a fresher, it will take time to get your first job, but be patient. And while you don't have a job, or try to uh, learn the skills, try to help people for free. Just help people for free. Maybe go to Upwork, create a profile that I'm a fresher, I can help you. I
Yeah.
will help you for free. Do some freelancing projects.
I would agree to that. One more point I would like to all the freshers who are looking for a job, and I know it's real frustration, right? So you're applying for a job and you're not getting it. So I would suggest go for an internship rather, because internships are paid less, or sometimes not even paid. But I feel that's not a problem for me. So if I'm in for learning something, I can manage for those 3 months without the payment.
Exactly.
If possible, if possible. I'm not saying it's possible for everyone. Somebody might have a different financial condition, so I'm not talking about those people. But those 3 months says a lot in your resume. So if you have done work in a company, and if you have achieved something there, so you say this is the outcome of my job, of my internship, that matters a lot. And so if you're a fresher, do not get frustrated. Please go for an internship.
Yeah. And it will take time. I always say, like, you need to have a lot of patience. Sometimes people say, okay, I did not get any interview call in past 3 months. What is wrong with me? There is nothing wrong with you, dude. It's just a circumstances, right?
Yeah.
Even I had a hard time finding my first job. I thought I am the super smart programmer in my class. It's just probabilities, and like sometimes it's
Yeah.
luck as well. So do not think that something is bad. Never think something is bad with you. Okay, always think that circumstances are bad. You are good. You are the finest, perfect human being. Okay, and another thing I want to add is, let's say sometimes people ask me, Hemanand, that okay, I'm not even getting an internship opportunity. Then I say, like, do you have an uncle who has a grocery store, or do you have an uncle
Yeah.
who's a
I
doctor?
think we discussed this. Yes.
Right? Like, go to that
Yeah.
person and say, oh, I will help you build some software, some analytics, some mobile apps, something, because
Yeah.
that then you don't get stuck with those kegel or some dummy problems. Try to solve some real life problems.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And I'm looking in one question. So from Tripathi, does everyone go through the same frustration and demotivation while programming when concepts which are very easy to understand but takes time to understand, and giving up seems the right option? Tripathi, I can tell you there are numerous amount of time. Even now, even last week, I was struggling with the problem. Right, so it took me really a lot of time to get to the solution. And when I got the solution, I felt it would have just taken 5 minutes to it. It's like this. So to answer the first part of your question, yes, we all feel the same frustration and demotivation sometimes, but it's not demotivation, rather it's the frustration. But you should always, wait until the point you get the solution. Sometimes it's and giving up is always not the right option. It's always an option, yes, I agree, but it's always not the right option. Sometimes you just have to do one step more, and in order to get what you want. So once you have done that, like once you have that perseverance, like Deval mentioned, one of the important skills of data analyst is the perseverance. You really need to be patient and get the thing that you want. It takes some time sometimes. For example, there are also numerous situations where I've done something very simple. It just took me 5 minutes just because I had those experience, and people appreciated me like, oh, this is great and everything is fantastic. And I just did it in 5 minutes. But there are occasions where I've struggled for weeks and I haven't got to completion, right? So it's always a part of the game. It's part and parcel of the game. Just take it.
I have a recent experience, Aman, and
Yeah.
my friend who is a BI analyst. So back he has been an analyst for so many years. So back in few years back, there was not much technical skills that you need as a BI analyst. So he was mainly on the business side, and when then Tableau and Python came along, he started learning all of that. So I think 2 months back he calls me. He's like, "Dude, you need to come to my home because I'm stuck at this problem." So I go to his home. I'm like, "All right, what's going on?" And he was trying to read a CSV file in Pandas from a network location. So he had the whole network path, and he had slashes. So I go to his home, I look at the computer, I'm like, your slashes are wrong. So I just add an extra slash in front of his regular slash and ran it, and it fixed the problem. The guy was so happy as well as so frustrated. He was
Yeah.
like, I spent 5 hours on this. I thought maybe there is something wrong. And he tried reinstalling things. He tried so many things. And I'm like, it's not like I'm genius. I have gone through the same frustration numerous times. I have been doing this for past
Yeah.
17 years. So frustration,
I
if
get it.
in program, if you're writing programs, getting all those crazy errors, it's okay. When I learned programming, Stack Overflow wasn't there where I can just copy paste error and find an answer.
Yeah.
Nowadays, if you are finding an error, just Google it. Most likely you will find Stack Overflow answer. They will tell you. And do not look for ready-made solution. Many times I've seen this habit. People go to Stack Overflow, they just get the ready-made answer and try to paste it, but try to understand
Yeah.
why that error occurred. Try to read, try to do some thinking. Don't be in a rush. Okay, do some reflection, and that will have huge gains over a period of time. Immediately you will end up spending more time than you think you should be, but then those lessons will accumulate, and you will gain so many insights which will help you later.
I agree. Okay, so not seeing any question that is new.
Okay, so Anamika is a second year statistics student and she wants to start my career as a data analyst and data scientist. Anamika, you already started your career, okay? Because you already studied statistics for 2 years. So you have just think you have already started your journey, basically, if not career. And how do I start? So the advice I will have for you while you are in college is, so this is a general question. Let me answer that. So if you're in college, second year, third year, statistics or computer science, whatever degree you have, you want to make yourself industry ready right now. Don't think, okay, I will finish my education at the fourth year, I will start preparing for it. Right now, can you go to LinkedIn and start building up your network? Talk to people, industry people like engineers, data scientists who are in industry. Talk to those people, have conversations. Okay, try to help them in their projects. Try to do freelancing. Try to help NGOs. Because working on real life projects, working with the industry expert is gonna help you tremendously. Okay, and also while you're in college, you should focus on soft skills as well. So if you're wanting to become data analyst and data scientist, it's not just about technical skills. Can you master presentation skills? Can you go to YouTube and search for a video called Death by PowerPoint? That video is an amazing. It shows you how to present effectively. So in college, often you are presenting your projects. And I have seen the projects that people present in college, super duper boring. Okay. And people never focus on their presentation skills. If you focus on your presentation skills, all right, if you focus on your technical skills, you will probably become a software engineer in a company like Apple. If you focus on presentation skill, you'll probably become Steve Jobs. So the soft skills are 100 times more important than technical skills. And that's where people do not give any focus. If you're in college, can you participate in an event, okay, cultural event or tech fest? Can you drive that event? You will learn so many management skills, so many teams building skills, so many like so many different soft skills which will be super useful when you're going for an interview. Because when you're like in an interview, the whole thing is about connection, human connections, and you need to establish that connection. If you have those dull dry technical skill and cannot establish that human connection, you will fail thoroughly again and again. So focus on those skills, focus on networking, focus on your passions, right? Like why do you want to become data analyst? I have a brother, like my younger brother. He was doing computer engineering and he was not interested in coding at all. He was interested in building a relationship with people. So his entire 4 years, he got like 50% on average. Okay, he managed to just pass barely. And his entire focus was on, he was this was like 20 years back. He used to sell the CDs back in days. Like he will make in our village, he will make a CD of MP3 players, and he used to sell it for like 20 rupees, 30 rupees, because he had a computer. And he started those entrepreneurial relations right at that time. And now he is running a software company, successful software company, which has more than 50 employees. Actually, he's hiring more. He's going to be like 100 employee company like next year. That guy has 50% score. All his colleagues who used to get ranks, they are working for TCS and Infosys right now. So but that process took a long time, but then he identified his passion right in college. So in college you need to identify your passion. If you are a people's person, you like to talk, communicate, don't worry about data science and all that. Like focus on different type of different type of career. So you need to know who you are at your core and try to focus only on that. you will get 50%. Your parents will say, oh, you're not getting good score, look at your friend. But then score is not everything.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. Looks like we are already 1.5 hours. If you want to pick one last question, Hemanand, you pick one last question. I'll pick one last question and probably will end.
Okay, let's do that. I saw some question from Gunjan Kumar. He says, I worked as an automation engineer for 5 years and I want to do masters in data science from BITS Bilani. Will it benefit me in automation? Definitely it will benefit you if you are working in automation, because the part of the thing that you're doing as a data analytics person is to automate things and save time for people, right? So if you have that mindset to approach, when you're in automation, you try to find the weak processes and kill them, right? So you will do the same thing here, right? It's not just about analyzing and building dashboards. In the process, you will also change. In the process of building this dashboard, you will also kill some processes, when you are working as a data analyst. So I think that automation thing will definitely help.
Okay. Let me pick up one question here. People are asking, okay, I'm MR, can I do it? Yes, you can do it, of course. Can you give some good companies recruit only fresher on data analyst? Not looking for. I think we answer all these questions, which is okay. I want to answer this, which is many times people debate between Tableau and Power BI. People say which one is mostly used. Now, I think Hemanand, you can answer this question better, but I will tell you my views, which is Tableau is more expensive than Power BI, right? And I
could be.
Okay, that's my understanding, and for that reason, many mid-scale or small-scale organization cannot afford it. So that's why they go for Power BI. So can you just give your views on these both these tools?
Yeah, mine could be slightly biased because I've been using Power BI for a long time now. But one thing I like about Tableau that is better than Power BI is the visualizations itself. So if you talk about visualization, I think they are the pioneers in that. They have started, having all these kind of visualizations. It's really, Zen-like, right? Power BI is good. It's really good. I'm not saying Power BI is not good, but Power BI has lot more to offer other than visualization, right? Because it is embedded in the Microsoft environment. That's the first important thing. So with Power BI, you have the connection to Excel, you have the connection to Azure, you have the connection to Power Apps, where you can actually build an app inside Power BI, right? And you can use Microsoft Power Automate, where you can automate, let's say your client is sending your data via email, right? You can write a flow, you can use Power Automate without having to write any code. You can get the data from Excel and automatically send it to Power BI. Every time there is a new data, all this automation can be done very easily. It's not just about Power BI. Power BI is equipped with a lot of other Microsoft Suite tools, which is making it a clear, a go for me.
Okay, I will still take one last question. That is from Yasasvi Rupwani. She's asking a question about women. How about women? I have 8 years of experience in IT support. So she was in support, nothing, I think, programming, nothing like that. And can you give some guidance on how to enter into data analysis field? So Yasasvi, I will give my view, and then Heman, and maybe you can also, or you go ahead. I'll say my thing later.
Yashvi, I don't think it's something about women or men. So we have women data analysts in our team. We have men. It's all about your skill set, right? It's not about gender. Gender does not play a role here. There are some professions where gender could play a role. I agree to that. But if you're an analyst, people will say you're a good analyst or bad analyst. They don't say he's a male analyst or female analyst. That's definitely not the point. And if you have an experience in IT domain, it will definitely help because you understand the backgrounds and stuff like that, how things are getting connected. And you can, you are a fresher kind of a person to data analyst. So you can start learning some stuff, but your domain knowledge will definitely be useful. So you will not be treated like a fresher who's like just graduated from college and does not have any experience So that's different because you have an organizational experience, which really plays a part. And during this 8 years, you are in a support role. So I'm sure you must have really good communication skills. So that's very important. Communicating your ideas to stakeholder or listening to stakeholders. So since you are in support, you must have practiced more listening than speaking, which is really important. So you should know when to listen and when to speak. And stakeholders like to, like you to listen more and grab the points and then repeat it in a way they understand, right? So I think you will definitely use that experience for a data analyst. So go forward.
Yashasvi, many companies have started programs to increase involvement of women in technology. That has been a trend nowadays, and they are having so many different programs. So try to join some women in technology group, which you might have locally in your city, and those groups kind of support you in making your career move or in basically progressing in your career, because we have been living in this bias that uh, that only men can dominate technology or whatever. If you look at the demographics data, I mean, those are the trends that you see, but really it's all about our collective responsibility to increase the underrepresented groups. It could be women, it could be any other groups. And trust me, nowadays companies, when they're hiring, they are not looking at the gender, your race, your medical condition, anything. They're like truly neutral. And the laws of at least the laws in developed nation at least are such that they promote equality from all the dimensions. So you should definitely try to pursue the data analyst career. Hemanand made an excellent point that your 8 years of experience will not go in vain. You have developed some useful skills which will help. Listening is an excellent example of communication. If someone asks me like what is the topmost skill that you need for being an effective communicator, I would say listening. Because I read this quote that we listen to reply, we don't listen to understand.
Listen to, yeah.
Right. So understanding is important. So when you become data analyst, business manager will come you, and you need to understand that first. If you don't understand, you spend 2 months building some dashboard. After 2 months, that guy will say, oh, this is not what I wanted. Done. 2 months work goes into your garbage bin. So you don't know anything programming, fine. You have a lot of programming resources. I have linked my Python tutorial playlist in the video description of this particular video that I have designed for people like you, exact beginners. And you can learn Python, you can learn Power BI, you can learn so many things. I wish you all the best, Yashasvi. I think you will end up doing really good. So just keep the spirit high, and good luck from both of us. All right. So now, friends, we need to end the session. I wish we can answer all your questions, but we'll probably schedule another session, Hemanand, if you have
Yeah,
time in future. Um,
sure.
for the question that we have not covered. And in that session, please uh, like there are some protocols of live events, such as like don't ask questions, don't spam basically, then otherwise it wastes our time and it will waste so many other people's time. Also, if you want your question to be answered, you need to join right at the beginning, because if you join half the way, so many questions are piled up, right? So then it becomes kind of hard for us. So we just try to go in a chronological order. And these kind of events I already announced in my YouTube community post. I don't know if you are aware about that. It's like Facebook type of feed. And also when I stream the video, you will at least get notified. So if you click on that notification button, you will get a notification that we are having this event on this day. And then when the event starts, you should try to ask your questions. And do not ask very vague questions. Ask very specific questions. Also, we have so many videos on the channel, and if something is covered already, like do not try to ask the same question, because it's kind of repetitive and we might not pick up that question. So adding specific details will be really helpful in the future sessions. So thank you very much, Hemanand. I know I said 1 hour, we ended up spending
That's
1 hour.
fine, Dhaval. That's fine. I'm really glad to be, in the same space to help people with you. It's really a pleasure. And
Yep.
I thank all the people who asked some really nice questions. And feel free to get in touch if you want. If you have any specific questions, I'm really happy to answer them. And all the general questions like, is it good to learn data analyst skills? All those things are mostly answered by Dhaval in his channel. So please go to those questions. And if you have any specific questions, I'm really glad to take them.
You can, so is it okay if I put your LinkedIn in the video description?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll
Yes,
put
that's fine. Yes,
Hemanand's
please.
LinkedIn in the video description. So if you have a question, you can shoot him a message or maybe send him a connection request and just be part of his group. But please keep in mind, Hemanand is a data analyst manager in a company working for a company in UK. He's a busy person. So make sure you ask meaningful question and respect his time and help. Like everything that we are doing is for free. So please be mindful of that. And I'm really sorry for the questions which we could not cover. I'm hoping to schedule one more such session in the future. Thank you very much for watching. I will now end the stream.